I'm excited to chat with Trevor. I've known Trevor for a few years at this point, with his prior company as well. But I'm Divey, I'm one of the co-founders, as Lara mentioned, and we'll be diving deeper into Trevor's background and Blueprint. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of Blueprint, but we'll get into details. But before we start, Trevor, why don't you tell us more about yourself? How did you get into supply chain and your background?
Yeah, great to be here. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it very much. Started out in technology early on, but got into the supply chain side through contract manufacturing around '06. There rolled into starting my own brand, taking that national, then rolled that up to contract manufacturer of my own, and then been on the brand side for the last several years, helping high velocity brands grow quickly.
Wow. Then can you share more about Blueprint, the origin story, and how did you end up at Blueprint?
Yeah, so it's got a fascinating origin story. It's hard to see, but show of hands, who has seen maybe the Don't Die documentary or heard of Brian Johnson by chance? Few?
There you go.
Cool.
Few hands, yeah.
More than half. I like it. Thank you. If you haven't, check out Don't Die documentary on Netflix. It kind of tells the whole backstory. But Blueprint is a very mission-driven company and something that I align with myself very closely. In fact, it reminds me of my previous brand that I brought up, something very focused on efficacy of material, clean supply chain, reduction of toxicity in materials. The origin started with Brian Johnson about 8 years ago, I suppose, when he started asking himself questions like, how far can the human body go? What does it look like to be healthy longer into old age? And how far can we take old age? What does potentially living forever look like? Pretty extreme questions, and that's understandable. But he took a look at that, and then he started assembling a team of research scientists and doctors, pulling together all the clinical studies he could find around these subjects, around longevity, around rejuvenation. And through this data analysis, he's put together a framework that started addressing each of these kind of what dying symptoms look like, inflammation throughout the body, different illnesses that we get as we get older, and isolated these specific ingredients and or protocols to create this framework to see how long he could take it himself. So he really utilized himself as an experiment, and that's where it started. So it began with an experiment on himself, refine that, learn about what's working well, constant testing, constant iteration on the product sets, and came to a place where it was highly effective, which became very interesting. They then took all that data behind him, all that research that he'd done, all the results that he had, and published it for free on the website, on just the internet. This is pre-Blueprint days, actually. And that content went viral. So there was a big outreach on, this is incredible results you're seeing, Brian. How can I do it? What is it that I can do in small steps to take it this way? He spent millions of dollars a year on developing this protocol, not necessarily attainable for most of us. So he started creating a Blueprint protocol that was accessible to the masses. So we've taken these learnings, refined them, and put them into ingredient sets and products combined together that really are super efficacious, looking for high potencies, but also really clean supply chain.
Wow. Yeah, I've been following Brian Johnson for quite a few years now, and I've had the pleasure of meeting a couple of times.
Yeah.
The regimen is so strict.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. Like, so what part of regimen or protocol do you follow?
Yeah, so I tend to think of this rejuvenation, and we all do, as a sport within itself. Brian Johnson is an absolute machine. He's one of the most dedicated and thoughtful individuals when it comes to this type of research and science in general. So he's a 5-time gold medalist. I'm trying to make it to state, right? It's like there's a huge chasm to cross here, but that's okay, and that's what the protocol is all about. It's not necessarily about doing everything that Brian is doing, right? It's doing what you can incorporate it in your daily life, take learnings from what Brian has done and the research and science that we've found out, and what you can apply to yourself. There's several pillars to the protocol, but there's diagnostics, there's health and nutrition, personal care and cosmetics, but then there's also sleep and exercise, right? And he likes to demonstrate that if you just become a professional sleeper and just really focus on quality sleep every night, get the screens off much earlier than when you're going to bed, eat 4 hours before you go to bed, and get your resting heart rate down before bed and become a professional sleeper, you can get 80% of the gains that he's seen through this multi-million-dollar protocol. So there's things that each of us can do without cost out of pocket in order to drive longevity and health throughout older age. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I follow Brian Johnson, so I read that the half-life of coffee is 4 hours, so you should avoid drinking coffee 4 hours before bedtime.
Yes.
I've been trying to do that, unsuccessful so far. Otherwise, I'll be sleeping 4 hours earlier.
Right.
So, but again, Brian is on such a noble mission to extend human life.
Yeah.
How is it working for him, and what motivates you to be at Blueprint?
Yeah, absolutely. It's working very well for Brian. I think he is. I know he is the #1 ranked rejuvenation athlete in the world right now, and has held that title for some time. The latest results for his speed of aging, I believe, is right around 0.56.
Wow.
To where he is aging essentially from an organ health standpoint half of what the normal person ages.
So birth every 2 years.
That's right.
Every year. Wow.
Yeah, so it's incredible results that he's seeing right now. He's really been able to take age off and reduce the speed of aging from an organ health standpoint and just overall biomarkers. He tests dozens and dozens of biomarkers every single day. What does it mean for myself and the mission behind it? What I'm really excited about is, well, a lot of things with the Blueprint mission, but specifically the cleanup of the supply chain and the removal of the toxicities within our supply chain. We often hear about heavy metals in our food products, microplastics, pesticides, and so on. And these contaminants in our supply chain impact us in a negative way. They cause inflammation and many other things cascading throughout the body. So if we can make some headway in at least identifying and showing what products are clean and prove it through data, we're not asking for your trust in, say, our marketing campaign. We're asking to trust yourself and test. So we offer the diagnostics, so you can test your blood panels, you can test your speed of aging before you start taking any Blueprint products, and then you test middle and end and see what's working for you and see how it's actually affecting your life and your health. So testing the supply chain, leaving a better solution for my children is something that I'm really excited about. This toxicity thing is a bit out of control, and it's going to be a long road to really capture and change it all because it goes so deep. We ship all raw materials. I'm saying the industry in general in plastic containers and super sacks and PET bags and so on. And yeah, I think there's an opportunity to really at least start paving the way to where we create awareness and have a spot to where we can start make actionable change that we can all get behind and have cleaner products for all of us.
Wow, Blueprint's mission is so big and so noble. So there's a North Star for Blueprint, I get it, but you guys have grown so quickly on the e-commerce side and still growing so quickly. Yeah. What is your advice to the brands that are very mission driven? How can they keep the mission intact and still have a soul while still growing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So mission to me is, certainly you need to be clearly defined on the mission and what that is. And for me, it's all about simplicity. If you can speak to your mission very easily, smoothly, and within like one sentence, then you're nailing it, right? I like to put it into where I can ask myself a question around every decision I need to make to the day regarding our mission. 1 or 2 questions, that's it. Is this gonna make us the #1 leader in longevity space? Is this decision gonna make my customers write us love letters? And by asking these simple questions, you can really navigate some challenging decisions based on just that overall ethos on where you want to go as a company. So I think if you can keep it simple and ask yourself those questions on any challenging aspect of business you have, then you're at least in the right direction, and it keeps the whole team going in that same direction, which is obviously incredibly important.
Yeah, and just curious, how big is your team now, the supply chain team that you manage?
Yeah, so I think we're right about 8 right now. So yeah, and that's and some of them are here today. Love you guys. You're awesome.
Thank you.
And yeah, no, we've grown fast. You know, we're a young company. We're 2.5 years old, and we've seen really substantial growth in product category, product assortment, staff, and so on. So we've hired right around 40 people in the last 6 months.
Wow.
And you know, we've been able to do so effectively. We have some just rock stars on the team, and you know, when you are growing so fast and the demand requires such rapid change in an organization, I think that's one of the most challenging aspects of it is being able to find the right people to put in the right place to take action quickly. So really being mindful on who you're selecting, ensuring that, I like to say that everybody around me should be smarter than me. So I can surround myself with people that can tell me from their own perspective in a unique circumstance, this is a good direction to take, and you know, get that overall support mechanism, and to use a corporate term, get that synergistic effect, and you start flowing. You know, it's really exciting to have that kind of momentum.
Yeah. Well, that's so humble of you. You're probably one of the smartest operators I've ever met, and you're hiring people smarter than you.
You're
amazing thing. Yeah. Yeah. So let's switch to supply chain.
Sure.
Like Brian is posting on X, Instagram, and all the places.
Yeah.
And a lot of his posts go viral.
Yeah.
Just the nature, because some of them are really good advice and some of them are like controversial to a certain extent, but he's giving some really good advice out there.
Yeah.
How do you forecast in your business the raw materials, the finished goods, the inventory, given the viral nature of Brian's posts?
Yeah, so it's a challenge, right? To be sure, virality, and where I've kind of been living in viral brands for some time now is it's not easy, but with proper planning and setting the stage, with getting your details on your systems locked in, like the fundamental data, what's your lead time, what's your ordering capacity, where you're at from a minimum order quantity, these very basic kind of questions, and have those plugged into your planning tools to ensure you at least know your fundamentals so you can pivot on solid ground is really important. Staying in very close contact and having a great relationship with your marketing or social team is also really nice. Virality to me is kind of like lightning striking, right? And there's ways you can pull it towards you with a lightning rod, right? But sometimes you just don't know when it's going to arc off. Our team is incredible at building that lightning rod, and they've done an amazing job at it. So staying in close communication with them is very key, so they can say, hey, you know what, we think this is starting to trend. Let's start pivoting in this direction with different product sets or categories. And then I would say very close relationship with our partners, right? Yeah. So having such amazing partners like you guys allow us to pivot quickly. Megan's here. She hears from us multiple times a day as these marketing campaigns go out and how we start to see different trends in different directions. So yeah, I'd say close relationships with partners, supply chain all the way to fulfillment is critical.
Yeah, no, partnership is very important in this case. But even upstream, you guys focus so much on quality at the end of the day. How have you structured your supply chain to focus on that quality aspect that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, it starts from the beginning on even vetting and qualifying our partners in supply chain, right? Ensuring that we're working with the right people, with the right partners from a quality of product specific, but scalability and capacity too, that they're able to quickly expand and willing to work with us. We're a young company, we're growing fast, and we'd like to have partners around us that are willing to grow with us. And taking those feature requests and actually action on them, right? Like we see with you guys. So that is really important. We also test an enormous amount. I've been, again, in supply chain for over 20 years now, on the co-man side, on the brand side. I've never seen testing like this before. We're testing every single raw material and the full spectrum. So, it's not just ID and micro testings. We're going all the way, again, to heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides, and so on, microplastics in there. So we spend a lot on testing to ensure that the transparency about what we're providing is real, and it's something that people can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, like because you're in wellness space,
Right.
a lot of these products have some unique handling, some compliance aspects, and
Yes.
freshness needs.
Yeah.
How do you ensure quality isn't sacrificed in those terms as your volume grows?
Yeah, compliance. I was just talking to some of the ShipBob team, the compliance side at lunch here, and it's a critical aspect for us. We pride ourselves on being transparent with our data. We do post every single product C of A, certificate of analysis, online. So again, you don't have to trust us. Go look at the data. What we say is what we're doing, and what we produce is out there for everyone to see and read at the minute level. So again, really just focusing on testing, ensuring that we're hitting the right parameters based on the protocol. These ingredients are clinically proven, but we're constantly iterating our formula sets too, off of new learnings and new data. So it's not that we just have one product, it's launched and it's stagnant. We're revising it and updating it to be that much more effective very often. And that leads to, again, an enormous amount of testing and just ensuring that what we say is in there is actually in there.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of brands posting the COAs and all the test results online.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just sets a higher standard overall, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And because of all of these like investments, Blueprint and Brian now have fans globally.
Yeah.
How do you think about international expansion?
Yeah, very excited about the international business and international expansion in general. We are cross-border shipping immediately right off the bat, right? And we are looking to open up more distribution outside of the United States. We do have a warehouse in Hong Kong that services Asia, and talking about European expansion certainly. Yeah, no, we have the international audience really responds well to the brand, responds well to Brian. He often tours around Asia, was just in India, was just in China, and had a really cool response and some really interesting dialogue, there. So there's a lot of following from globally that really is resonating with our mission, because it's not just a U.S. problem, right? I mean, supply chain and toxicity in supply chain is a global issue that we're trying to bring, again, awareness and transparency behind. Hoping to be a point of the spear, but just opening up the space for other longevity groups to come in and really shine in what we can make a big difference on. So yeah, internationally, right now we are working on opening up 2 longevity clinics in China, which is really exciting, and new product formulations for region-specific plays. So yeah, very much excited about international market. It's a focus for sure for us.
Interesting. Longevity clinics. Like, what is that, and what's next for Blueprint? What's in the hopper? Whatever you can share publicly.
Yeah,
great to know.
Sure. It's certainly they follow the Blueprint protocol. Again, all science-backed and results proven. So these clinics have that framework, and our product sets in there. They're also attached to medical facilities. So you're going to be able to get more than just the products at these treatment centers, and it'll be interesting to see how those work out and the expansion on those. From a feature release, and we are really excited about new products that are coming out. We just opened up our cosmetic line with personal care, started with hair growth.
Wow.
So we just launched our shampoo and serum.
Yeah, I need to buy those.
I got
some
you.
hair here.
Yeah, I know where to find them for you.
Yeah.
I got you. But they're very well designed products. Each of them have 8 individually encapsulated peptides, different on both sides. We'll have another hair growth product, which I'll keep under wraps here for now, but that'll be releasing soon. And together they very much are synergistic, and they work very well together, and they're designed that way. We have more personal care items coming out later this year, which I'm incredibly excited about. The hair growth did very well. It exceeded expectations as far as just initial launch, so we're excited to see how that trend comes out. But we have about 6 more products coming out, or SKUs coming out this year. Launched a total of probably, 15 or 16 products this year at the end of the year.
Wow, that's a lot to manage.
It's a lot to manage, yeah. But when we talk about longevity protocol, it really spans product category, right? So we're not just trying to address health from the inside out. It can also be from the outside in, and how we treat it is it's broad. So there's a lot of area to play.
Yeah, and I think when I was just searching around, I found something called Blueprint Quantify, or like there was some rating system. What is that about?
Yeah, it's something that we're working on. It's a little bit behind the scenes and, public facing behind the scenes. We're trying to figure out the right angle, but it's really just, it's a matter of understanding and ranking the supply chain all the way to customer facing. Say you're buying, you're going to a restaurant to eat and you want to know if their products are clean, if they're sourcing from the right materials. You can kind of relate it to like a Michelin star rating, but it would be a kind of longevity rating, Blueprint quantified rating on if this particular spa treatment is effective, if this sauna is right for you. So we can create a ranking system that we can all get behind and trust that the data is there to support it and be able to have recommendations on where you can go on your daily life if you don't want to have a chai protein shake that morning or something.
Yeah. See, that shows that it's about the mission. It's not about the product of Blueprint.
That's right.
It's about the mission, so that whatever you do, it helps you back. So
absolutely.
So inspiring.
Yeah.
And now we can open up for questions if anyone has questions in the audience. And let's try to limit questions. Let's not ask about Brian's life and stuff. If you're interested, you can just watch the documentary because that's public. Any questions? There's one.
Question, do you err on the side of being out of stock, or have you ever been caught out where you thought something would go viral, but you kind of didn't, and then all the stuff is expiring, and then you're like, oh no, that sucks?
We certainly try not to go out of stock. It's a fine line with the growth we have and understanding which products hit from a viral perspective, right? Because it's not like everything goes viral all at once. So it really depends on the product perspective. We'll account for a general overall lift in sales and revenue, but attributing that by a SKU basis makes it challenging. So certainly never trying to go out of stock. When we do, we try to get back in stock as quickly as possible, right? Because our customers, we have a nice retention side of things. We've got a subscriber basis is really nice, and we really do everything we can to not impact their daily regimen. Because once you really get into the protocol and get on it, it changes things. For me specifically, like I was able to, again, 20 years in the industry making food, nutrition, and supplementation, I was able to knock out all of my supplements on my shelf and just have Blueprint. So if I don't have something there at any given time, I feel a little bit off. So we really try to support that as best as we can for the customers.
Yeah, and these products work. You remember? I won that whole fulfillment games. It's all because of Blueprint.
That's right.
Cool. Any other questions? We have maybe time for one more question.
Hi, Blueprint. I heard that you guys use our inventory placement program, and I would love to know what your experience has been with it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice plug.
Yeah, that was a good plug. IPP is great. Yeah, no, absolutely. It allows us to take a relaxing approach a little bit, allow the algorithm to do its job, and we're fully, appreciative of a good algorithm at Blueprint. So yeah, no, we're loving the IPP program. It really helps us maintain good inventory levels across the board. Haven't seen any kind of challenges from that side of things, and it, reduces our need for our team to get into those, the details of a specific placement and by a region basis and do that analysis work ourselves. And it allows us to elevate our team a little bit more for strategic thinking, which is what we're always trying to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.